Hello, everyone. I'm Kendra Vise, and I own Clear Direction Advisors. I'm a business strategist and accountant, and today I want to talk to you about the credit card chargebacks that businesses are now eligible to do within Canada. For years, Canadian companies were not allowed to charge their customers a premium or any kind of fees if the customer is paid by credit card. That's changed after a successful lawsuit went through, and the lawsuit was stating that the big banks, Visa and MasterCard, were colluding and working together to make sure that Canadian businesses paid more in charges than what they should have been for processing credit cards. As a result of this lawsuit, it's now been changed so that Canadian companies are now allowed to charge up to 2.4% with some rules in there that back to their customers who decide to pay for their transactions and their purchases by credit card. So I mentioned a few little rules around this. So what are some of the rules? Well, the rules are you must notify Visa and MasterCard that you are going to be applying the surcharge back to your customers with 30 days notice. So you can't just decide that you're going to do this and not notify MasterCard or Visa and start charging immediately. You have to give them at least 30 days notice. The other rule is that you must post in your store, very visible for your customers, that you will be charging them this fee if they pay by credit card. There must be a separate line item on all the invoices showing what somebody has paid in the credit card surcharges. Also, when somebody goes to pay at the terminal, it needs to state that there's a surcharge being charged and give that person the option of canceling their payment and picking another payment method or continuing with the transaction. There's also rules around how you're actually able to charge this in terms of the amount you can charge. So you can charge either based on the fact that it's a Visa or a MasterCard, or you can select that you are charging the surcharge based on the type of Visa or MasterCard, because certain cards with the different rewards and things like that actually cost merchants more when the payments are processed. The other rule is that you cannot charge your customers more than what you are paying when a payment is processed. And there's also a cap at 2.4%. So if you're getting charged 1.4%, then that's what you're going to be charging is 1.4%. You can't charge your customers more. If you're paying, 2.9%, you're capped at 2.4, so you're not allowed to charge any more than that 2.4 because your rate is higher than 2.4. Some additional rules is that you're not allowed to charge this on debit Visas and MasterCard debits. So if somebody's paying by those, no surcharges are applied because it's not actually a credit card, even though it can in certain ways act like a credit card. The other thing is for returns or disputed amounts, the surcharge that you charge the customer has to be refunded to that customer. So one of the things that you need to ask yourself as a business owner is this something that I want to do? There's arguments for and against, of course, and that goes back to some of your business strategy. But the other things that people are thinking about when they're deciding whether or not they're going to charge this back is this is something that's new, and this is going to alienate their customers. But it's also how much money are you spending out in these credit card fees? Now, this is something, of course, that people have been asking me about. Should I charge it? Should I not charge it? And it's a conversation that I have with my clients to discuss their own personal situation, right? And what's happening with their business. Because in some cases, yes, it makes sense to do this, but in other cases, it really doesn't. And I know this is a concern for a lot of business owners, especially small business owners, that if they start charging their customers this surcharge, does it mean that the customers are going to go, to another store to make their purchase because it's not going to cost them down the road to pay for the surcharge? My advice for people is take a look at at the end of the day, what are your core values? Is this something that you need to do, or is it something that you don't? If the credit card surcharges really are, eating into your bottom line, which of course they are, maybe it's time to revisit your pricing. Maybe your prices need to increase to account for the fees. I know that it's something that, for myself, it's not something that I've accepted credit cards, but when I'm pricing some of my new programs and my courses, that's something that I know there's going to be a certain number of people who are going to be paying by credit card, and there's going to be a certain number of people who aren't. So it's something that I've looked at when I've created my pricing to make sure that those fees aren't going to eat in too much of my profits on my courses and my programs. And it's something, again, I've built that into my pricing. So I'm not building it in for everybody, but I'm building it in on average how many people are going to be paying by credit card and how many people are going to be paying by, say, e-transfer or another method. Still have questions on the topic? I do have a blog post with some links to the different things for Visa and MasterCard, as well as feel free to comment on this video and reach out to me and let me know if you do want some further clarification on anything.